It's championship night at the Fargo Dome. The 1994 Boys State Class A Basketball Tournament, Bismarck versus Mandan. I'm Ed Kendall. He's Dan Hammer. Dan, we've seen a lot of defense so far in this tournament. And two teams that everyone says are known best for the defense are left in the tourney.
Bismarck and Mandan High, two teams that are very familiar with themselves. Both play good defenses. If there's one edge that you would give to one team in particular, I think it's Mandan. When you look at their inside game with Preston Fleck and Rod Reese, I think they're the key players in this game. If Bismarck High can keep those guys in check, I think they have a good chance. If Fleck and Reese have big nights, I think Mandan's going to win the game.
Fleck and Reese with big nights last night in Mandan's semifinal win against Century High. You talked to the Bismarck High coaching staff. That is definitely their concern as well, containing the big guys inside. Well, let's check in with Brett Garland and John Hegry across the floor, guys.
Okay, and I'll tell you what, for the first time at the tournament here, it's really starting to get loud. We're down here on the Mandan side. Things are really starting to pick up. Now, when you talk about Mandan, you talk about Preston Fleck. The big key is keeping him on the court. If he gets in foul trouble, then Bismarck can exploit some things.
Absolutely, but talking to coaches, not necessarily the Bismarck or Mandan coaches, but the other coaches in the tournament, they all agree that if Bismarck does happen to get the lead early, we might see a fourth quarters very early in this game. You never know.
Yeah, and I think Bismarck really wants an up-tempo game. They want to just push this as much as they can. We'll have to see what happens. I think we got the makings of a good one.
Okay, thank you, guys. Some guys to look forward tonight during tonight's ball game. Danny Murray, the leading scorer for Bismarck High, basically does it all for the Demons. He scores, he rebounds, he's a great shooter from the outside. Shannon Peterson hit some key three-pointers last night, finished with 11 points in the Demons' semifinal victory to get to this point, to the championship night.
Well, Jamie Wagner is the quarterback of the Mandan Braves, the 5'11 senior, averages 16 a game, 3 assists a game, real good free throw shooters. And then Preston Fleck, the 6'6 postman, about 12 points a game, 8 rebounds. And as you can see, he's tough inside defensively, where he also has some things to say in regards to blocks and also steals inside the paint.
Now, these two teams have played 3 times this season. Early in the year, Bismarck High beat Mandan by a score of 54-51. In the second matchup, the Braves really took it to the Demons, winning by 19 points. And then in the West Region Championship game, the Demons, going in as the number 2 seed, beat the top-seeded Mandan Braves by 3 points. So there is certainly some history here, Dan. You touched on it, that these teams know each other very, very, very well. It's been a dry spell for these two teams when you talk about the big picture of the state tournament. Mandan since 1981, and I guess dry spell really does not highlight how long it's been for Bismarck High. It's more like a drought is what it is. 1959, 35 years since the Demons last took home the Class A state championship trophy.
We talked about Thursday. There wasn't any clear-cut favorite coming into this tournament, but one team that was mentioned as a real threat for the championship was Mandan. The Braves have had a very steady season. But I think Bismarck High, because of the way Mandan and Jamestown played throughout the year, has been an overlooked basketball team. I mean, they are 20-4, and they're as dangerous as anybody here, and that's why Bismarck and Mandan are going to play for the title.
And I think the big reason for that is going into the season, not a whole lot was expected of this Demons crew. You went through the season, you kept expecting them to maybe hit a losing streak. They just didn't do it very consistent throughout the entire course of the season.
Activities Association. This championship game features the Mandan Braves and the Bismarck Demons. Here are your starting lineups. Starting at one guard for Mandan, a 5'11 junior, number 23, Keith Walters. At guard for Bismarck, a 6' senior, number 10, Darren Johnson. For the Braves at guard, a 5'11 senior, number 25, Jamie Wagner. For the Demons, a 6' senior, number 34, Kevin Feeney. Starting at forward for Mandan, a 6'1 junior, number 21, Brad Wagner. At forward for Bismarck, a 6'2 senior, number 22, Dan Murray. For the Braves, a 6'4 junior, number 51, Rod Reese. For the Demons at forward, a 6'1" senior, number 32, Shannon Peterson. And at center for Mandan, a 6'6" senior, number 45, Preston Fleck. At center for the Demons, a 6'1" junior, number 50, Joe Bearstail. Head coaches for Mandan, Jim McPherson. For Bismarck, Steve Miller.
The Fargo Dome is rocking. The Braves and the Demons for the championship. Tip-off is just minutes away. It's an all-West final at the Boys State A Championship for 1994. Your officials for tonight's game, Greg Johnson and Brian Kraft. Set to tip it off, Joe Bearstail, number 50 for the Bismarck High Demons, and the big guy, 6'6" Preston Fleck, will jump it up for the Mandan High Braves. The tip predictably controlled by Mandan as Preston Fleck wins the tip. Jamie Wagner for the Braves. Keith Walters dumping inside for Rod Reese. You saw him last night explode for 21 points and a steal by the Demons. Right away, the defense by Bismarck. Demons can't connect Danny Murray with the rebound, but a foul called on Bismarck.
It'll go against Murray. He was trying to follow his own miss.
Interesting, Dan, right away, the Demons looking to run. That's something the coaching staff talked about to try to offset the Mandan size tonight.
And they're coming with some full court pressure here.
Keith Walters in the open court with a beautiful-looking basket for the first 2 points of the ball game. Kevin Feeney. Now it's Danny Murray, 15-foot around the way. This one is too hard. Bearstail with the rebound, knocked away. Here's Bearstail in the corner. He'll put it up from there. This one is short. Murray keeps it alive. And the Demons reset. Darren Johnson, left wing, guarded by Brad Wagner.
Well, Bismarck's getting some good looks at the basket, some good opportunities, some 15-footers here to begin the game. They can't complain about shot selection to this point.
The ball goes on Brad Wagner, his first of the ball game. Kevin Feeney set to inbound for the Demons. Darren Johnson trying to work on Jamie Wagner. He's cut off. Now it's Kevin Feeney. Bearstail steps back, puts up the three-pointer off the mark. Rod Reese clears. The Demons did not shoot particularly well in their first two ball games, although they did win both of those games to get to this championship game. They'll need to shoot better tonight against a great defensive team, the Mandan High Braves.
That's a real key for Steve Miller's team, is how well they shoot tonight. And how do you explain that Mandan defense, that junk defense, as Jim McPherson calls it?
Preston Fleck keeps it alive. Keith Walters with the save in the corner. Jamie Wagner trying to drive on Kevin Feeney. The Braves looking inside for Preston Fleck. A turnover. Here comes Bismarck.
Good matchup, I think, for Bismarck is Jamie Peterson, because he's being defended by Keith Walters.
Knocked away inside, a steal by Mandan. We've played 2 minutes. It's 2-0 Braves. Brad Wagner with the drive. He'll kick it out, and Darren Johnson with the steal.
Bad decision by Wagner. Really didn't know if he had a man over there or not. Just tossed it to the other side of the lane. Johnson in no hurry to push the ball up the court, but Steve Miller on the bench here was saying, go, go, go. Let's get these guys into transition, try to get some easy baskets. Bismarck not getting a lot of movement away from the basketball right now.
Peterson, we saw his three-point capability last night, can't get this one. Bearstail skies for the rebound, and he's fouled on the putback.
Bismarck is a little bit deceiving because even though they give away some size when you look at Fleck and Reese, Shannon Peterson and Joe Bearstail are pretty physical players, and they're also good leapers. So Bismarck, with those kind of guys, might be able to hold their own on the boards tonight.
When you look at the Bismarck lineup, it's also deceiving because they're basically starting a forward in Danny Murray and 4 guards. Joe Bearstail may be a guard/forward, but certainly more comfortable when he's outside handling the basketball, although he does do some nice things inside, as he did on this pitch, getting the offensive rebound.
Yeah, otherwise you could say that Johnson, Feeney, Bearstail, and Peterson pretty much guard players.
Bearstail splits the pair. You see the time left. Mandan with a 2-1 lead over Bismarck. Knocked out of bounds by the Demons. Rod Reese in the corner now for Mandan. Joe Bearstail with the D.
Boy, Shannon Peterson defensively is really cheating. He's drawn the assignment on Brad Wagner, and Peterson is backing off Wagner 10, 12 feet and going down into the lane.
Get a jump ball situation called here underneath the basket.
Foul on Preston
Check
Fleck.
that, a foul on Preston Fleck. So the Demons will take it the other direction. That's the first on Preston. Kevin Feeney, strong drive to the basket, can't finish. Reese with the rebound.
That's the kind of penetration you want, though, out of Kevin Feeney. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Dan, you mentioned Shannon Peterson lagging off. That's something Bismarck has to do to offset this inside. Some help side defense. Didn't work this trip, though. Preston Fleck lays it up and in for 2.
Now, that's the kind of opportunities that Fleck and Reese got all night long last night in their win.
Shannon Peterson going strong to the basket. He's fouled in the process of shooting. And I believe, once again, it's on the big guy, Preston Fleck.
Good signs the last 2 times down the court for Bismarck High because they're attacking the basket. What they hope to do there is get those big people in trouble down low, in foul trouble, that is.
Peterson, a good free throw shooter, hits the first. Peterson, a 6'1 senior, 11 points last night in the semifinal victory. Peterson has them both. We'll take a timeout. 4:06 to play in the first. The Braves leading Bismarck by a point. It's been a predictably low-scoring defensive game to this point, midway through the first quarter in the championship game. The Demons now with some backcourt pressure on the Braves. Dangerous cross-court pass. Inside, Preston Fleck with it. Fleck turns, goes to the bucket, and scores it.
It's a gamble when Bismarck High does that because from time to time you can leave yourself a little unprotected back there in a 2-on-1.
Darren Johnson from way outside. His three-pointer is short, but Kevin Feeney scraps for the rebound. Feeney wide open from the corner. His shot no good. Murray keeps it alive. Here's Bearstail. Bearstail amongst the trees has it partially blocked by Rod Reese.
Look at how Shannon Peterson is cheating off of Brad Wagner.
And the Demons are almost saying, we're going to give Brad Wagner some opportunities to beat us tonight. Wagner played a strong overall game last night for the Braves. This is Rod Reese. He did as well, and he lays it up and in for his first bucket of the ball game.
It is.
At the other end, Darren Johnson beats the defense for an easy 2. It's 8-5 Mandan. 2:35 left in the first. Keith Walters trying to spin away from Darren Johnson. Johnson whistled for the foul. That's his first.
Well, those last 2 possessions kind of typify what these teams would like to do. Reese scoring, even though he drove the lane, but Bismarck, on the other hand, turning it quickly back the other way, trying to get the tempo up a little bit, because Mandan is so patient.
Scott Oswald, Brian Wallner checking in for the Demons.
Rod Reese picks up the foul. He pushed off there.
Fifth team foul already on the Braves.
That's his first foul, fifth team foul.
There's Scott Oswald with the basketball for the Demons. Murray guarded by Preston Fleck, giving away about 4 inches.
I think Peterson and Murray are your best offensive bets with the lineup that Bismarck has on the court right now, with Oswald and Wallner both into the game.
Peterson tough off the dribble. High bank shot won't go. Reese with the rebound, and a foul called underneath.
It'll go against Oswald. Peterson, good idea here, but a little strong on the drive.
Shannon Peterson so tough off the dribble.
I like what Bismarck is doing, though. They're continuing to attack and go to the hoop.
Jamie Wagner from well beyond the arc. His shot is no good, kept alive, and Wallner grabs the rebound for the Demons. 1:30 to play in the first. Murray flashing across the top, takes it strong to the bucket, can't finish. And the defensive presence again by the Braves inside.
Well, there you have it again, finishing. They're getting their opportunities, just not finishing them off inside off the drive.
This is Fleck kicking it outside. Keith Walters for 3. It's off the mark. Kevin Feeney with the board. The Demons want to run. Here's Wallner running the floor. Nice looking basket by Brian Wallner. The 6'2 junior getting on the wing and getting an easy 2 for the Demons. It's 8-7 Mandan. Now Wallner with the steal.
And they want to push it up quickly. See, they get Mandan into that hurry-up game a little bit. Look for them to turn it over a couple times.
35 seconds left in the quarter. Demons will back it out, more than likely work it for the final shot. Brad Wagner way out on Murray. Here's Feeney now. Peterson is tapped on the arm.
You look at that, and from a coaching standpoint, you're thinking, oh, that's risky trying to dribble through that traffic, but Peterson able to maintain control of the ball and also draw the foul.
Keith Walters picks up the foul for Mandan. Joe Bearstail, Steve Fry check in for the Demons.
Bearstail getting back in for the final seconds, give you another offensive threat.
Shannon Peterson was not throwing to let the clock wind down. He throws up a long three-pointer off the mark. And the Braves with a chance in the final seconds. Brad Wagner, not aware how much time was left on the clock. He had several more seconds. He's got 3.6 left on the clock.
He rushed the shot also.
Now Bearstail will let it fly from beyond half court. This one's way off the mark. We played one quarter at our 1994 State A championship game. Predictably defensive, predictably low scoring. It's the Braves leading the Demons. You're watching the State A on the North Dakota NBC Network.
I'll hand it to the Bismarck fans. They've got this sign creation thing down to a T, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do. The Mandan Braves
that.
bring a lot of fans out east for the state championship.
How do they put that together so quickly like that? That's amazing.
Black and white with a strong following. Year in, year out, any sport. Steve Fry now with the drive. Oswald thought about the jumper. Wallner, we've seen him make a couple big plays already for the Demons. There's another one. Bismarck leapfrogs in front, 9-8. Ooh. Oswald with a hard ball on Keith Walters. That's 2 on Scott Oswald. Dan, looking at our first quarter numbers, the shooting woes continue for Bismarck, just 2 of 16, 12.5%.
You don't like that 12.5%, but what you do like, if you're Steve Miller, is the fact that the Demons were aggressive. They were attacking the basket. They were getting good opportunities. They weren't finishing, but they were getting good opportunities. They got a couple fouls on Fleck, so pretty positive first quarter, I'd say, for Bismarck High.
Aaron Amundsen and Greg Schmidt checked in to start the second quarter for Mandan. Kevin Feeney now checking in for the Demons. Demons with the near steal. Amundsen now baseline. He can shoot from there. Little long. Scott Oswald cradles the rebound.
Amundsen has really struggled from the field in the entire tournament in those times that he's been in the lineup. Never really has found the range here at the Fargo Dome.
Darren Johnson tiptoeing the three-point stripe. Wallner, quick move baseline. And Brian Wallner with another big basket for the Demons.
Wallner with 6 of Bismarck's 11 points. Who would have thunk it? Instant offense from the guy.
Not to mention a big steal. Keith Walters driving on Darren Johnson, and Johnson is whistled for the foul.
Bismarck playing a real physical branded defense, especially out on top against Wagner and Walters. And this is just a great individual move.
The original move was great, but the finishing touch was unbelievable.
Yeah,
Wallner.
he likes it too. Look at that. Sporting a big smile.
More substitutions. Shannon Peterson back in for the Demons. Preston Fleck in for the Braves. Amundsen looping inside for Reese, and there's Mr. Wallner once again.
Perfect position defense.
Demons looking to push it once again. Peterson way outside. Dangerous pass in the lane. Peterson strong to the basket and scores.
Look where Bismarck is doing its damage. Inside against the bigger Braves.
Peterson now with 4 points. His first field goal.
6-0 run by the Demons, who trailed at 8-7.
Preston Fleck backing in on Danny Murray. Double dribble called on the Braves center, so Bismarck will take the basketball with a 5-point lead. We'll take a timeout. 5:52 to play in the half. The Demons in the middle of a big second quarter run.
Well, high school championship being decided here at the Fargo Dome tonight, and in Vermillion, South Dakota, the North Central Regional Championship at the half. The Bison leading South Dakota 32-31. The winner moves on to the Elite Eight in Springfield, Massachusetts in 2 weeks.
Kevin Feeney nearly has it stolen away by Keith Walters. Here's Shannon Peterson. Danny Murray wide open left wing. His jumper is short. Preston Fleck skies above the pack for the loose ball.
Interesting to listen to Jim McPherson in that timeout, urging his team to be patient in the offensive end. I haven't seen him be anything but patient the last 3 days, to
You
be
better
honest
believe
with
it.
you.
Maybe that's why they're here. Rod Reese on the high post is fouled by the Demons. Kevin Feeney will pick it up.
Mandan real effective when they run the high post, low post. We've seen it throughout the tournament. Both Reese and Fleck are real good at spotting their teammates.
Almost 3 minutes into the second quarter, the Braves have yet to score. Bearstail with the takeaway. Shannon Peterson can't hit the shot. Brian Wallner there for the putback.
Wallner is really playing with a lot of intensity right now. He is into this game, attacking the boards, and again, Bismarck just can't finish. Bearstail did a nice chase, put that ball out and let Shannon Peterson chase it down. And there you see the foul over the back. And I believe that one against Wagner. Is that correct?
Wagner and Rod Reese. the Braves over the limit with that foul, nonetheless.
It was on Wagner.
Wallner splits the pair. It's now 14-8 Demons. 4:45 to play in the second. Wagner, the long jumper, no good. Loose ball off to Dan Murray.
Bismarck's got Mandan out of its offensive approach here. I mean, Mandan usually looks at the basket for 15, 20 seconds, 4 or 5 passes. Last few trips down, 1 pass, they're putting up a shot. That's not what we've seen out of Mandan.
Shannon Peterson has it blocked away from behind by Brad Wagner. It's 2-on-3. Keith Walters will take it anyway. Loose ball. The Demons come away with it. Murray, tough bounce pass to a couple of Braves and out of bounds. They say it's off the Demons. Murray with the bounce pass.
Steve Miller surprised at that along the Bismarck bench. That was a ill-advised bounce pass actually by Murray. Didn't get a lot on it and tried to really thread the needle.
The question is whether it touched Kevin Feen. He didn't appear to, but it may have in the far corner there. You see Darren Johnson, number 10, checking back in for Bismarck High. Mandan, again, has not scored this quarter. We're now approaching the 4-minute mark. Reese in the far corner. Shannon Peterson checking Keith Walters. Near knockaway by Peterson. Shannon Peterson.
Oh, he's hounding him. Absolutely hounding him.
Walters gets free, leaves it for Reese. Reese tips in his own miss.
Mandan's real fortunate to get a bucket out of that possession because Peterson was hounding his man defensively and he almost turned it over.
It's a 4-point game. 14-10 Bismarck High. Cross-court pass. Bearsdale sets up. Can't get it to go. Peterson comes away with the rebound and a foul called. This one will go against number 32, Shannon Peterson. And Bismarck coach Steve Miller is besides himself.
He can't believe that call. You can read his lips. Awful is how he describes that call.
Clock down to 3:10 in the first half. Rod Reese way outside for the Braves.
Look at Bearsdale. Quick hands.
Walters, the pull-up jumper, can't get it to go off the glass. Bearsdale with the rebound. Murray leaves it left corner. Bearsdale, his jumper is too hard, and Preston Fleck with the rebound for Mandan.
Well, Bismarck knows if they give Joe Bearsdale a few looks, and if he knocks down one, he's might going to knock down 2 or 3. He's a real streaky shooter. He hasn't found his range yet tonight, but he's getting some good looks.
Brad Wagner down the lane. Tough shot, knocked away by the Demons. Bearsdale.
Bismarck very aggressive in the defensive end, especially in this quarter.
And you see some weak side help by the Demons on defense. We'll take a timeout. Bismarck leading by 4 in the State A championship.
Back at the Fargo Dome and in Grand Forks tonight, NDSU is about to put the lids on the North Central Regional Championship, and the Bison women are headed to the Elite 8. Good chance they could host that Elite 8 in 2 weeks.
At the Fargo Dome, 2:20 to play in the half. Bismarck leading Mandan 14-10. Rod Reese working on Bearsdale. Nice spin move. Can't get it to go down. Here's a steal by Keith Walters. Talk about quick hands. Walters is fouled on his way to the bucket.
That's one of the matchups that favors Mandan is the quickness at the guard position, especially when you're talking about Kevin Feeney. Not real quick with the feet or the ball movement. and an easy pick, actually, for Keith Walters. Now, the quickness favors Mandan there, but when you get on the other end of the court, when you have Bearstail and Shannon Peterson working against some of the Mandan people, all of a sudden the edge goes to Bismarck on the defensive end of the court.
Walters cans the first free throw, making it a 3-point game. Keith Walters, great baseball player for the Mandan Chiefs, State Legion champs. Second attempt is in and out. Bearstail with the rebound.
Just 3 points, Ed, for Mandan in this quarter.
Darren Johnson pulls the trigger. Can't get it to go, but Dan Murray there with the rebound.
Bismarck's getting quite a few second chances in the offensive end tonight.
Johnson nearly lost it. Now he's got it right wing. Cross court to Feeney. He's so wide open. He's got to take that shot. It's off the mark. Rebound kept alive once again. Bismarck comes away with it, but Keith Walters gets in there. Jump ball called between Walters and Shannon Peterson.
And Walters and Johnson now exchanging words.
We talked last night about Keith Walters. He is one intense customer, and he's showing it right here.
Check it out as Walters and Peterson battling. Yeah, you look at Walters' face. Not now, but anytime. And he always has that frown on his face. That look of intensity.
Scrappy junior guard for the Mandan Braves. Bismarck leading the Braves 14-11. 1:10 to play in the first half. Jamie Wagner trying to shake free. Brad Wagner, quick pass inside. Brian Wallner, who just checked back in for the Demons, almost saves it, but he stepped out of bounds. It'll be Mandan basketball.
Preston Fleck and Rod Reese have been pretty quiet in the offensive end in this quarter.
Jamie Wagner working on Bearstail. Now it's Brad Wagner getting it in the low post to Preston Fleck, and Preston flips in two. 6 points for Preston Fleck. Mandan is pulled to within one, 14-13. Bearstail, short jumper, but shuffled his feet on his way there.
Joe got it in the lane, thought he might dish it out to the wing, changed his mind at the last minute, and that's when he walked. 5 straight now by Mandan after they trailed 14-8 at one point.
Good move here by Coach Jim McPherson for Mandan, bringing in Greg Schmidt. Only 40 seconds left in the quarter, giving Preston Fleck a breather. And
yeah, you don't want to get Fleck that third foul, very late in the quarter.
Reese posting up, foul called on the Demons, Brian Wallner. The Demons also over the limit, so it'll be a 1-and-1 situation for Mandan.
Well, the team fouls are mounting up quickly in this game, but the reason is it's been a real physical game. Not only inside, but also on the perimeter.
As low scoring as this game has been, 14-13, 30 seconds in the half, it's been an entertaining ball game. Reese short with the free throw. Kevin Feeney chases down the loose ball, and the Demons will work the clock for the last shot.
I said 40 would win this game before the evening started, and I don't think I'm going to be too far off.
Kevin Feeney, strong drive. Brian Wallner picks up the loose ball, and Wallner flips it in for two. Jamie Wagner with the heave, and Jamie Wagner just misses a miracle shot.
Did Brian Wallner show us some offensive skills tonight underneath the bucket in this second quarter?
I've got Brian Wallner for 9 points. Right now, we'll pitch it down to John Hegre. John?
Okay, thanks a lot, Ed. Well, Steve, up-tempo, wild, physical game here. Is this what you expected?
Well, I think it's a pretty good defensive game. We're just shooting the ball so doggone poorly. And, I tell you, the game is really hard when the ball doesn't go in the basket. And that's what we're really facing right now. And, they got two big kids inside. It's a little hard for us to get the ball inside. But we're going to have to figure a way to get that done the second half better.
You really had a nice half out of Wallner, 9 points.
Well, Brian's he's a gamer, you know. He comes off the bench and gives us a real lift, so we're pleased with that.
Good luck second half.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. A very low-scoring game, but a very entertaining ball game. We're at the break of the State A Championship. It's the Demons leading the Braves by 3. We're at the half, but there's still plenty to watch. Sit back and enjoy the FM Acro team.
Halftime enjoyment, a team who combines precision and grace with aerial excellence. Proclaimed our very own Goodwill Ambassadors for the state of North Dakota. Let's welcome our very own Fargo-Moorhead Acro team.
Team. We're at the break. The Demons leading Mandan 16-13 at the 1994 State A Championship. Back at the half, the Bismarck Demons leading Mandan 16-13. Dan, the Demons on the verge of a state championship, but they're shooting 20-some%.
Unbelievable. Leading by 3 at the half. Bismarck from the field, 6 of 28. And I think something we can share with you that you don't see on that stat screen is that Joe Bearstail is 0 for 6 and Dan Murray 0 for 4. I think those guys are going to have to get involved offensively for Bismarck to be able to maintain things in the second half. Mandan, 18 attempts, 10 less attempts, but they hit 6 of them. Free throws really not a factor in the first half. Rebounds, look at that. Bismarck with an edge at 6, and we told you that they had some good second chances. In fact, in that first half, Bismarck had 10 offensive rebounds.
And Joe Bearstail, 7 rebounds total in the first half. Individual scoring, Brian Wallner off the Bismarck high bench to lead everybody with 9 points. He made some huge plays in the first half for Steve Miller's crew. For Mandan, Preston Fleck with 6, Rod Reese with 4. You see Keith Walters there with 3 points. I guess if you're looking at it from a Mandan perspective, like the coach said, be patient and try to work it inside to the big guys. That's really what's got them to this point through this tournament. They've got to do some more of the same. I also think if you're Mandan, Jamie Wagner has not been much of a factor scoring throughout this entire tournament. And Jamie Wagner can really light up the scoreboard. And I think the Braves have to find out a way to get him some open jumpers. If he finds his rhythm, the Braves could be in shape in the second half.
Wagner in that first half attempted 2 3-point field goal attempts, didn't miss any, and he's scoreless at halftime. But you mentioned the big guys. Preston Fleck, 3 for 3. Rod Reese, 2 for 5. And I still think there was a stretch in that second quarter when Bismarck had surged into the league where Mandan didn't look real strong inside to either of those guys.
Yeah, exactly. How did these two teams get here? Just to refresh your memory a little bit, Mandan beat Jamestown in the opener 42-33. The Braves then snuck by Century 40-38 yesterday. Bismarck High 54-46 over Grand Forks Central in the opener, the quarterfinals. Then in the semis, it was the Demons over Fargo North in a great game going down to the finish by a score of 37-35. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, the second half of our State A Championship. Again, the Demons leading the Braves by 3. The State A Championship at the Fargo Dome. We're at the half with Bismarck High leading Mandan, a very low-scoring, hotly contested, tightly defended ball game. 16-13, Brett Garland is standing by with Mandan coach Jim McPherson.
All right, thank you, Ed. Coach, I'm sure you're pleased with your defense, but I'm sure your offense is a concern.
We really need, they're taking a lot away from us, and they're doing a good job, but we really need to have some patience and make some adjustments, and we'll see how it goes here to start the second half.
What kind of adjustments? Maybe getting it inside a little bit more?
Well, we gotta try a couple of, we gotta do a little one-on-one business instead of so much team basketball. We got to try a couple one-on-one things first, and then we'll see how it goes from there.
Okay, Coach. Good luck second half. Appreciate it.
And I think, again, when you're talking one-on-one with Mandan, you've got to look for Jamie Wagner or maybe trying to isolate Preston Fleck inside. But, boy, the Demons doing a good job down there on him.
They have. It's been Bismarck's defense as much as anything that has given them this 16-13 lead at the half. And if they could have shot a little better in the half, just 6 of 28, I think they'd have a pretty comfortable lead here at the half.
Minutes away from the third period. Bismarck High leading Mandan in the State A championship.
Is hoping that everything is on its side tonight. Looking for the divine intervention.
That's a good step in the right direction, let me tell you. Steve Miller even getting a kick out of that one. He's at halftime of the title game, coaching the Bismarck High Demons. A spirited group from Bismarck High has made its way here about 200 miles east of the Fargo Dome. Ready to go in the third quarter. The Demons leading Mandan by 3. Again, the Demons have not won the state championship since 1959. Mandan last won it 1981.
Bismarck got mighty close back in 91 in Steve Miller's first year as head coach. They took heavily favored West Fargo to overtime before losing that title game.
And speaking of 1991, I talked to Coach Miller, and he said, personally, he's a heck of a lot calmer than he was, as you would expect. That was his first year as head coach.
Oh, I can remember him in 91. Yeah, he was a wild man.
He said he's a lot calmer this time around. Danny Murray with the calm-looking jump shot. That's 2 for Murray and the Demons. They go up by 5.
And more importantly, that's Murray's first field goal of the night. Bismarck knows they're going to need him the rest of the way. Get him the ball early, get him some confidence right away in the third quarter.
Keith Walters being tackled by Shannon Peterson. Walters trying to leave it inside for Preston Fleck, and Wallner is Johnny on the spot. Notice Brian Wallner starting the second half for Bismarck High. Offensive foul called on Kevin Feeney. And for Feeney, that should be his third personal foul. Just like that, Darren Johnson off the Bismarck High bench. Kevin Feeney still laughing. He can't believe the call. But nonetheless, again, that's 3 fouls on Kevin Feeney.
A real smile from ear to ear, but a satirical smile on his face.
Coach McPherson talked about the one-on-one basketball, and that is the best man on the Mandan High Braves to do it. Jamie Wagner knocks down the jumper.
And his first field goal of the game.
Joe Bearstail finding the touch for Bismarck. Good sign for Bismarck right away. Their 2 best shooters, Bearstail and Danny Murray, getting early baskets here in the third period.
Look at that defense. Outstanding.
Ron Reese saves it, and the Demons come away with it.
Bismarck very much carrying the attitude of Steve Miller onto the court in the defensive end. Steve Miller, a real intense coach.
Dan Murray spins on the baseline, can't hit it from the corner, and the Braves come away with it. 20-15 Bismarck. Murray maybe forced that shot a little bit, but he's a good shooter, even with the defenders right on him. And Jamie Wagner misses at the other end, out of bounds, off the Braves. Bismarck basketball.
I think Mandan's going to have to knock down a couple of those perimeter shots to open up that inside a little bit, and that might be, as you noted, something that Jim McPherson told us about it coming out to begin the third quarter, that he wants a little one-on-one out of some of those players, and one of those is obviously Wagner.
And the Demons wanting some production from Dan Murray. Once again, they kick it down low to Murray. He's got a good matchup there.
Oh, yeah.
Keith Walters trying to check him. Dan Murray, 6'2". Keith Walters, about 5'11". Yeah.
Feeney checking back into the game for Bismarck High.
Wallner, dangerous cross-court pass. Shannon Peterson for 3. And Peterson hits nothing but the bottom.
3 good signs if you're a Bismarck fan. Peterson knocks down a shot. Bearstail knocks down a shot, and so does Murray.
The Demons lead balloons to 8. Preston Fleck working inside. Can't get the short jumper. Whistle underneath. Foul called. It'll go against Mandan.
On Rod Reese. And I'll tell you, Bismarck, is doing a great job on the boards tonight. They out-rebounded Mandan by a sizable advantage in that first half, including 10 on the offensive end, and they're showing no signs of letting up on the board so far here early in the third quarter.
Bismarck High hoping to stretch that lead to double digits. Dan Murray from outside, and Murray connects for three. It's 26-15 Bismarck.
I think if you're Jim McPherson, you want a timeout right now. You got to have one.
And McPherson jumps off the bench and does just that. We'll take a timeout as well. The Demons leading by 11. Back at the Fargo Dome, Steve Miller's Bismarck High Demons on a 10-2 run.
11-point lead, the biggest of the game, and an 11-point lead in this year's state tournament, Ed, is a big, big lead. It'll be interesting to see what Bismarck does on the offensive end. They may take one out of Mandan's page and start being a little patient now with an 11-point lead.
Rod Reese looking inside for Preston Fleck. And the Magic Man, Brian Wallner, everything he has touched tonight has turned to gold, and he comes away with the steal.
Wallner with 9 first-half points, picked up the slack when Bearstail, Peterson, and Murray weren't getting much. He's played well in the defensive end all night.
Kevin Feeney had a wide-open jumper. He'll pass it up. Bearstail.
There he is.
In the corner, spotting up. It's too hard. Whistle underneath, foul called on Bismarck. That'll go against Brian Wallner.
Joe Bearstail and Shannon Peterson, if Mandan continues to defend Murray like they did that time, are going to get some real good opportunities, because if they kick it back out on that wing, boom, either one's got a real good look at the basket for a three-pointer.
Jim Mandan, you need something to happen offensively. Keith Walters trying to do it by himself. He's whistled for a traveling violation. Darren Johnson, Scott Oswald checking in for the Demons as Wallner and Joe Bearsdale take a breather.
Remember back on Thursday when Mandan beat defending state champion Jamestown, we talked at length about how Jamestown could never get in an offensive sync and offensive rhythm. Very similar to what Bismarck is doing to Mandan tonight to this point.
4:25 left in the third. Kevin Feeney driving baseline. He's cut off. Darren Johnson can't find the handle. Brad Wagner comes away with it.
That's a guy that we haven't heard much tonight. Brad Wagner, haven't called his name very often, really hasn't gotten into the flow of the game, hasn't contributed a lot to this point.
Preston Fleck, turnaround jumper, can't get the bounce. Darren Johnson with the rebound. Demons looking to push it. Braves doing a nice job getting back on defense. Johnson working on Jamie Wagner. Now the Demons reset way outside to Kevin Feeney.
These two teams, as we've talked about, have played a few times this year, so Bismarck, maybe more than any other team, knows how to attack this Mandan matchup zone that has given so many people so many problems.
Shannon Peterson can't get the long jumper to go. Wagner clears for the Braves. Keith Walters can't shake free of Shannon Peterson. Reese looking in the paint for Preston Fleck. Fleck can't hold on. Demons come away with it.
Fleck's a little frustrated, running down the court, shaking his head. Not going real well on the offensive end for the big guy right now.
Well, the frustrating thing for Mandan, the last several trips down the court, you got a couple turnovers and a missed shot. Murray, the 15-footer, no good. Reese with the rebound. Foul called underneath. Number 24, Scott Oswald will pick it up.
Oswald just grabbed the arm. Third foul on Oswald.
Aaron Amundsen checking in for the Braves. We've got a timeout. 3 minutes exactly left in the third period. It's Bismarck in the middle of a big run against Mandan. Five minutes into the third period. The Braves with one basket this quarter. Dan, during that timeout, we had the pleasure to look in, and they might be trying something different.
Definitely. Mandan's got to try to pick up the tempo of the game. They're going to press Bismarck every opportunity they can to try to generate some offense, maybe off some defense after they've struggled offensively to this point. I'll tell you that Bismarck had a lot of confidence in that huddle right now. The players are talking back and forth between the coaches, seeing things on the court. Real confident team, the Demons.
Jamie Wagner trying to work one-on-one, can't shake free of Kevin Feeney. In the West Region Championship, Feeney did a number on Wagner then, holding him to 2 points.
And I think Peterson's done a heck of a job on Walters to this point also.
Walters from the corner, his shot way off the mark. Amundsen with the rebound, the putback, count it, and the foul.
I don't think anybody expected that to go in. Oswald, I think, is the guy who will be whistled for the foul, was holding him, and I didn't think that thing had a chance. And the chance for a 3-point play. 4th on Oswald.
4th team foul on the Demons. 2 for Mandan this quarter. And Joe Bearsdale checks in for Scott Oswald. Oswald walking off the court. He says, hey, I got nothing but ball, but this is a 3-point opportunity, a much-needed one for Mandan. Amundsen, a good free throw shooter, 80%. Can't get it to go down. Dan Murray clears. Shannon Peterson working off a screen. The jumper is short. Foul called on Mandan, Brad Wagner.
And Peterson's going to get 3 free throws here, Ed. Fouled in the act of attempting a 3-point field goal.
Peterson with 7 points tonight. Give you an idea of his capabilities. He was the MVP of the West Region tournament.
Peterson scored 7 on Thursday, came back with 11 last night.
Peterson makes it a 10-point Bismarck High lead, 27-17. Nine points now for Shannon Peterson. Peterson rattles home the third. He's got 10. It's a 3-point trip for the Demons. They lead it 29-17. 2 minutes left in the third period. Bearstail now guarding Jamie Wagner. Walters, cross-court pass. Amundsen, he'll pull the trigger. Can't get it to go. Peterson skies for the rebound. Feeney has Darren Johnson wide open. Johnson couldn't quite find the handle. Did a good job resetting it, getting it back outside to Kevin Feeney.
Good decision by Johnson. It could have easily forced one up underneath there. Instead, kicked it back out. You know Bismarck's going to take a little time here. Yep.
Peterson taking Wagner one-on-one. Saw the seam, decided to go for the bucket. Keith Walters at the other end.
Mandan wants to press, but if they're not converting on the offensive end, well, they do there. They can't press. But
Rod Reese, the continuation. Great individual effort by Rod Reese. Stayed in control. Got the foul, the double clutch, nothing but the bottom. And another chance for a 3-point trip for Mandan. Dan Murray checks in for Joe Bearstail. Brad Wagner in for Aaron Amundsen. Reese, a 6'4" junior forward for the Braves. He's got 6 points tonight, scored 21 last night. Reese with the 3-point play. It's 29-20 Demons. Again, the Braves with the backcourt pressure. No problem for Bismarck High breaking. We're down to 1:05 to play in the third. Shannon Peterson slips on the court. Loose ball, scramble for it. Brad Wagner comes away. So Mandan hoping to surge here at the end of the third quarter. Right away, they look inside to Preston Fleck.
I think this is going to be an offensive foul on Preston Fleck.
Certainly appears that Preston Fleck was whistled for the offensive foul. That's his third. And with 50 seconds on the clock, Fleck quickly shuffled out of the Mandan lineup. Preston Fleck, you can see, not very happy about the call. Steve Miller on the Bismarck High bench. Steve Fry now checking in for Bismarck. Darren Johnson wide open for Brian Wallner. Wallner lays it up, can't get it to go, but he's fouled on the play.
Wallner couldn't quite gain control of the ball right away when he received it. Had to look down at it and regain composure, and by the time he had done that, the defense caught up, but he got fouled anyway.
Brad Wagner picks up his third foul. That's the fifth foul on the Braves, 5 also on the Demons. Wallner scored 9 in the first half, has not hit the score sheet here in the second half. And despite those 3 fouls, Preston Fleck checking back in for Mandan. Joe Bearstail back in for the Demons. Shannon Peterson, a much-deserved rest with 42.4 seconds left in the third. Wallner rattles it home for his 10th point. Number 2 by Wallner, no good. Preston Fleck battles for the loose ball. It is out of bounds.
That's number 4 on Fleck. Steve Miller all the way out onto the court. And Fleck is upset.
And they've whistled Preston Fleck, as Dan said, for his 4th personal foul. Preston went out of the lineup with 50 seconds left.
Yeah,
After that sequence, they put him back in, and Preston's a competitive kid. He's not going to watch a loose ball on the ground and not go for it.
And it's a gamble, though, putting him back in that situation. Here you got your big kid on the bench with 3 fouls, 45 seconds to go in the quarter. You put him back in, and boom, he gets number 4.
Darren Johnson with the jumper for Bismarck.
I think it was a gamble that backfired for Mandan.
It's now 32-20 Braves.
Biggest lead of the game.
Wagner, the shake and bake. The soft roll won't go down. Reese with the tip, no good. Walters underneath of all people, coming away with the loose ball. Walters wanted to look at the bucket, couldn't get it. Now it's Brad Wagner outside, 10 seconds on the clock. Walters again, spinning down the lane. Tough jumper, bank shot up and in. Steve Fry with the length of the court shot a little bit short. An exciting third quarter is in the books. Bismarck High, 1 quarter away from the state championship. It's the Demons leading the Braves by 10. You're watching the State A on the North Dakota NBC network. Coach Jim McPherson's Mandan Braves trailing by 10, entering the 4th quarter of the State A championship. The Bismarck High fans, you can hear them. They're excited here at the Fargo Dome. It's been 35 years for Bismarck High School.
Mandan struggling in the third quarter, 4 of 10 from the field. Bismarck, not a lot better, 5 of 10.
Jim McPherson pulling out all the stops. Preston Fleck is in the lineup with 4 fouls. He scores for the Braves. Bismarck with a 2-on-1. Darren Johnson inside. Brad Wagner with the block. Danny Murray with the loose ball. He puts it up no good. And this one will go against Rod Reese.
And that's 3 on Reese. No surprise that Preston Fleck is in this game to start the 4th quarter. You're in a state title game. You go into the final 8 minutes trailing by 10. You have to have your horses on the floor.
Dan Murray, 5 points on the night, all of them coming in the third period. Soft-looking touch as he gets the first free throw to go down. Murray can't hit the second. There's Fleck with the rebound. First minute of play of the final period. The Braves working it out to Jamie Wagner. The long jumper is no good. He comes away with the miss. The dish inside for Preston Fleck, and Fleck was certainly not expecting that pass. He just was not looking for it.
I think what actually happened, and I think it hit a piece of Rod Reese first, deflected off him, and then deflect, and it's just one of those things where you're not ready for that.
Lose your timing. Shannon Peterson back in for the Demons. Backcourt pressure by the Braves. Kevin Feeney loses it out of bounds, and the Braves will take it.
We talked about that matchup at the guard position tonight, and you know Mandan's going to try to exploit Kevin Feeney the rest of the way in this game.
Dan Murray now way outside on Jamie Wagner as he tries to go left wing with it, knocked out of bounds by the Demons.
I think Mandan might be able to get something here when Fleck cuts to the high post and then drops back down toward the basket for the lob because he's got a real favorable matchup right now.
Wagner trying to shake free. Mismatch inside now, rather. Reese posting up Kevin Feeney, knocked out of bounds, and they say it touched the Demons last.
Feeney, good help defensively.
Good job by the Braves, though, recognizing the mismatch. Rod Reese inside. Wagner trying to pull the trigger. This time it will. Can't get it to go. Knocked out of bounds. This time it's off Darren Johnson.
Steve Miller wants that big one on Preston Fleck, telling him, get off, get him off.
Wagner, the inbound, picked off by Brian Wallner. A 9-point lead for the Demons. 6:25 to play. Dan Murray strong to the hole. Rod Reese with the block. Reese is whistled for the foul.
Number 4 on Reese. Comes with a lot of time to play.
Got him with the body, no question about it.
That's 4 on Rod Reese with 6:23 to play. Reese with 4 and Fleck with 4.
You're watching the State A Boys Basketball Tournament. The Demons in control.
South Dakota gets a repeat trip to the Elite Eight. The Coyotes edge the Bison 61-58. What a great year, though, for Tom Billiter and the Bison. You know, at the outset, we talked about Bismarck having a good chance if they could keep Rod Reese and Preston Fleck in check. Right now, 8 for Fleck, 9 for Reese, but both have 4 fouls.
Dan Murray with the free throw, making it a 10-point game once again for Bismarck. 34-24. Make that 11. Murray now with 8 points. Keith Walters has it knocked away by Darren Johnson. Here's Wagner trying to shake free. Rod Reese looking inside for Preston Fleck. Now it's Keith Walters. Walters, the tough leaner. It's short. Rebound kept alive, and Brian Wallner comes away with it. Wallner grabs the rebound, but an offensive foul called against Brian Wallner.
I think there was some sighs of relief on that Mandan bench, because as you see the battle for the rebound there, I think some Mandan folks are going, oh, let's not hear that whistle, because it could be the big one, and either one of the big guys, and it goes against Bismarck.
Brad Wagner checks out for the Braves as Aaron Amundsen returns.
You notice, though, almost every shot Mandan is putting up is a tough shot. They haven't had very many easy chances tonight against this Bismarck defense.
We talked about trying to get Jamie Wagner some open jumpers. He's had some jumpers, but he's had to work very hard going one-on-one to get those situations. Near steal by Darren Johnson. Keith Walters will pull the trigger. It's way off the mark. Fleck with the rebound. Fleck turns, goes strong to the hole. Preston puts it up and in.
You think he's going to back down with 4 fouls? I guess not. He gave a little shoulder to the defender and went right to the hoop.
Jamie Wagner whistled for the foul in the backcourt. That's the second on Jamie Wagner. And the Braves now over the limit. Bismarck will be in the bonus the remainder of the ballgame. 16 fouls on the Demons. Johnson can't hit the free throw. Fleck with the rebound. .5:20 left in the fourth. Keith Walters thought about the three on the run. The tough bank shot won't go. And again, Mandan forcing shots, not getting a straight-up clean look at the bucket. 5 minutes left. Murray guarded by Fleck.
If Murray gets it there again and has any kind of path, I think you're going to see him take Preston Fleck to the hole and draw that fifth foul. Try to draw that fifth foul. Now a little spread by Bismarck.
Peterson leaving on the baseline for Wallner, and a foul called underneath. This one goes against Shannon Peterson, the offensive foul. Second foul on Peterson. So Rod Reese will head the other direction, go to the free throw line for Mandan. Approaching the midway point of the fourth period.
Bismarck's been in control of this game since they went on a 10-2 run.
Reese misses a much-needed Mandan free throw. Wallner with the rebound. The Demons have a 2-on-2. Darren Johnson push it up the floor, leave it for Dan Murray. And once again, the Demons will back it out. Probably work some time off the clock. Dangerous cross-court pass by the Demons. Jamie Wagner with the steal. And Jamie Wagner is whistled for the foul.
Jim McPherson arguing that his man had the ball. The foul should have gone the other way. Make your own call here.
Basically, it was a loose ball situation, and Wagner did run into Shannon Peterson. Well, I guess I just made the call for us. Peterson knocks down the first free throw.
Shannon Peterson has been El Perfecto at the free throw line tonight.
And the controversy now, you see the left knee of Shannon Peterson, he's bleeding. And of course the rules say any open wound must be closed before a player returns to the ballgame.
Now I think you can have any man shoot the other free throw. Is that not correct?
I believe so, yeah.
So Bismarck has its chance because as long as there's blood on that player, he can't be on the court.
You see there in the corner, Shannon Peterson being worked on. Didn't look like much of a cut. I'm sure they'll just stop the bleeding real quick, put a Band-Aid on it, expect Peterson right back in the Bismarck lineup.
So Beartail from the bench to the line.
Joe Bearstail stepping in for Peterson. Bearstail can't get it to go. Fleck with the rebound. Brad Wagner for the Braves. You see the clock almost midway through the fourth. Wagner no good. Bearstail with the rebound.
Well, the shooting percentages that were not favorable for Mandan through three quarters have not improved greatly this quarter at all. Wallner wants it against Reese down low. He would have had it one-on-one because everybody else had spread away from the paint.
Not a bad move. Reese with 4 fouls, but obviously the Demons looking to milk the clock as much as possible. Down to 3.5 to play. Brad Wagner way outside, finally fouls Kevin Feeney. And I believe that's 4 on Brad Wagner as well for Mandan. That is 4 indeed on Brad Wagner. 36-26 Bismarck High. You see Shannon Peterson's left knee. Feeney looking for his first point of the ball game. Kevin Feeney calmly steps to the free throw line and knocks down the first.
If there's one player who wants a championship more than anybody on this team, it might be Kevin Feeney, who thought he would probably have a football championship last fall. Bismarck ranked #1 all year long. Then Feeney goes down with a major knee injury. West Fargo wins the championship. So you know in the back of the mind, Kevin Feeney is thinking, I deserve one because I missed out on one last fall.
Feeney knocks down the second free throw. He's got 2 points in the ball game. We'll take a timeout on the floor. Bismarck leading the Braves 38-26 with 3:22 to play. Back at the Fargo Dome, 3:22 on the clock. The Demons 38, the Braves 26. Steve Miller with a big sigh. He knows his team is on the verge of its first state championship since 1959, the school's first since 1959. Keith Walters across the timeline for Mandan. They need instant offense. Rod Reese looking in the paint for Preston Fleck. Fleck will kick it out. Aaron Amundsen can shoot from there. His three-pointer no good. Up over the backboard, and the Demons will have it.
12-point advantage in this game is a big, big lead. And Bismarck's done a great job of once they got the lead tonight, Mandan has never been able to overcome and take it back.
The Demons, again, no problem breaking the Mandan press. Darren Johnson take it all the way himself. Amundsen with the foul from behind.
And they're calling number 41, Aaron Amundsen, that's his first foul.
Don Kautzman, number 31, now checking in for Mandan as Amundsen takes a seat.
And I think Kautzman checks into the lineup for one reason. He shoots the three and needs as many as three-point artists as they can get on the floor right now.
Amundsen has had the opportunities tonight, but you mentioned earlier, has struggled most of the tournament with his shooting. Johnson hits the free throw. I tell you, if the Demons keep stepping up, knocking down these free throws, it won't matter. The lead has now grown to 13.
8 of 10 in the fourth quarter is Bismarck from the free throw line.
Johnson knocks down the second as well. That's a half dozen for Darren Johnson. 2:55 to play. It's a 14-point bulge, 40-26. Keith Walters, the double pump three, can't get it to go. Reese with the loose ball. He lays it up and in for two. Murray across the timeline for the Demons. Here's a steal by Reese, but the Demons called timeout right before Murray made that pass.
Kevin Feeney, who was standing just a few feet from us, called timeout. We heard it. It was instantaneous, but he did call the timeout before the steal.
We'll take a timeout as well. It's the Demons up by 12. Back at the Fargo Dome. The picture tells the story. Bismarck by 12 with 2:34 left.
Remember, the Demons are a very experienced team. All 5 of their starters are seniors. That's it for Reese. He's gone.
Rod Reese picks up his 5th foul. Reese will check out of the game with 11 points tonight. That's 2 above his season average. Good tournament for Rod Reese, but it appears just not quite enough for Mandan. This is Dan Murray now getting ready to step to the stripe for Bismarck High. Senior southpaw gets a soft rim and gets the first one to fall. 9 points now for Dan Murray. The Demons lead at 41-28. Murray delivers the second as well. Again, the bulge is 14 for Bismarck. 2:20 to play. Wagner, the wild three, can't get it to go.
You know, Ed, Preston Fleck has 10. That's about his average. Rod Reeves has about his average. But what Bismarck has done is not only contain those guys, but I think even more importantly, completely taken Jamie Wagner and Keith Walters out of the ball game. Wagner averages 16. He has 2, and Walters averages 11. He has 5. The guards have not been a big factor offensively tonight for Mandan.
And that was a focal point for Bismarck. They told us that Jamie Wagner, if they can help it, will not beat us tonight. If we lose this game, somebody else will step up and do it.
And it's not the first time this year when these two teams have played that Bismarck has done an effective job on Jamie Wagner.
At West Region Championship, we touched on. He scored just 2 points. Kevin Feeney doing much of the defensive support that night. Feeney at the free throw line, hits 1 out of 2, and the Demons come away with the loose ball. Feeney fouled in the backcourt by Don Kautzman. So 2:04 on the clock. The Demons leading by 15.
And then foul number 31, Don Kautzman, that's his first foul.
You take a look at the hardware that will be handed out after the game, and it's looking like Bismarck will finally have a championship trophy to put in the showcase.
Preston Fleck checking out for Mandan High. Steve Miller, oh so close back in 1991. He was the former head basketball coach at Richardson High School, was an assistant at Bismarck High for a number of seasons. His first year took the Demons to the title game. In his 4th year, there's 2 minutes exactly from the school's first state title in 35 years. Jamie Wagner trying to make something happen. Aaron Amundsen way outside from the top. It's off the mark. Murray got a hand on it. Feeney with the rebound. Here's Wallner, and Wallner wisely decides to hold up, reset the offense for the Demons. Mandan has to foul.
Good decision. You got a 15-point cushion. Draw it back out.
And then foul number 41, Aaron Allison, that's his second foul.
One word that we haven't mentioned, and I think also describes this Bismarck High team, and that's chemistry. In talking with other coaches coming into this tournament, they said that was one asset that they saw in this Bismarck team was cohesiveness and team chemistry.
And if you've sat back and watched any of this tournament, you can really, really see that in this team. Very much a team in every sense of the word. Jamie Wagner now checking out for Mandan as Todd Glarum enters the game, number 33.
Well, I think what you're seeing now is basically a white flag coming up off the Mandan bench with these substitutions.
Some of the guys who don't normally play a lot getting a chance for the Fargo Dome State A Championship game spotlight. Keith Walters, he'll step up, shoot a long 3, no good. And Dan, you would think just from the average of percentages at this point, Mandan would have a couple of these shots falling, but they have just been ice cold here in the 4th period. Again, a lot of the shots forced by the Braves, but you can attribute that in great part to the Bismarck High defensive effort.
Bismarck High doesn't have a field goal here in the 4th quarter, but they've made good at the free throw line, 13 of 17.
Number 50, Joe Bearsdale, that's the Bismarck.
Senior Darren Johnson checks out for the Demons. You can see a smile come across his face. Joe Bearsdale back in.
I think it's one of those situations where at any break now, Steve Miller might take one of his seniors out at a time or maybe 2 at a time and let them savor this moment and the standing O that each of them will get from their fans.
There's 3 of them left in there. Dan Murray, number 22. Kevin Feeney, number 34. Shannon Peterson, number 32. Walters with a couple of free throws for Mandan, making it 45-30. And quickly, a foul in the backcourt, predictably. Todd Glarum picks it up for Mandan.
Number 43, Todd Glarum, that's his first foul.
Peterson heading to the free throw line for Bismarck. Peterson off the mark.
Sorry, Ed, what I was going to say is that Bismarck High was considered the best defensive team in the WDA this year, even though we heard a lot about Mandan in that matchup zone in the first couple days. Well, I think we can see now Bismarck allowing 46 points in the first game, 35 yesterday in its win over North, and they've given up 30 to this point.
Murray fouled by Aaron Amundsen. The quarter breakdown tonight, Mandan actually led by a point, 8-7 after one. Bismarck took a 3-point lead into the locker room, 16-13. The third quarter was a big one for the Demons, outscoring the Braves 16-9. They took a 10-point lead, 32-22 after 3 quarters. Murray with the miss. Wallner, Johnny on the spot with the rebound. And here in the fourth, the Braves have extended that lead from 10 to 15 points with 1:05 to play.
Yeah, and Bismarck came out in that third quarter with that, as you said, 3-point lead. And the first 3 guys to hit shots in that third quarter were Joe Bearstail, Dan Murray, and Shannon Peterson. And that really set the tone of the game from there, because once Bismarck got any kind of substantial lead, you kind of figured with the way they were playing defense, they're in pretty good shape.
The 3 big guns for the Demons, if you will.
Nice socks.
Mick Weidrich, number 42, seeing some playing time for the Demons here. Scott Oswald checks in.
Looks like he's going hiking, not to a basketball game.
Kevin Feeney checking out for the Demons. Dan Murray, another one of the seniors, checking out. Elation on the Bismarck High bench. 1 minute to play, 45-30. Bismarck leading arch rival Mandan for the State A championship.
And oh, those shoes and oh, those socks. It's a statement. I'm not sure what kind of statement, but you'll be able to spot him easy. If he's open, you should be able to get it to him.
Steve Fry way outside for the Demons. Now it's Peterson. Peterson is fouled. Checking in for the Demons now, I should say, is number 52, Trent Mills. And I assume Shannon Peterson will be coming out once he shoots the free throws.
Stephen Miller just came over, walked in front of us, looked up to the Bismarck crowd, hoisted both hands with his fists up in the air and the victory sign to the crowd.
Coach Miller, a coach that the players love playing for, and he's a coach that the student body really supports as well. Peterson hits the free throw.
Check out Miller along the bench. The high fives are going now between Miller and his players.
Peterson, perfect on both attempts. Shannon Peterson checking out. Ending his Bismarck High basketball career. It's been a great one, ending on the highest possible note. 47-30 Bismarck. 40 seconds to play. Glarum to the basket. Can't get it to go. Scott Oswald, another senior for the Demons, hauls down the rebound, and he is fouled immediately by Glarum. Now checking in for the Demons is number 54, Nate Nygaard.
Bob Munt, number 20, will also check into the game for Bismarck High.
Scott Oswald hits the free throw. .1 seconds left. The Demons in control, 48-30. Scott Oswald can't hit the second. Weidrich got a hand on it. Here come the Braves. Way outside for the three-pointer, no good by Tony Spildy. Demons want to push it down to 15 seconds now. Braves will push it. It's mop-up time. Todd Glarum can't get it to go. And once again, it's Mills with the loose ball. Weidrich wants two. Weidrich with the scoop shot. Can't get it to go. The Braves will walk it up the court. And that is it. The Bismarck High Demons end a school 35-year drought by winning the 1994 State A championship 48-30 over the arch-rival Mandan High Braves. You see Kevin Feeney, Dan mentioned, couldn't quarterback the Bismarck High football team to a title, but did quarterback the basketball team there. The final score once again, Bismarck over Mandan, 48-30. Not quite as close, or closer rather than the score would indicate. Right now, let's check in with John Hegry, who's standing by with a couple Bismarck basketball players, a couple happy ones. John?
Yeah, that's right, the 94 State A champs, Shannon. Tell me about this team, quite a makeup.
Oh, yeah, this feels great. I think it was our defense all year long. We're hard workers, and it paid off in practice, and I love this.
A lot of team unity, too?
Oh, you bet. We're not selfish here. Play as a team all the time.
How does this rank, Kevin?
Oh, this is up there. This is so sweet. It's unbelievable.
What about playing for Steve Miller? He seems like a kind of a coach that you want to play for.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely a player's coach. He lets you kind of run the show. I mean, our offense is whatever we want to do, pretty much. So, like he always says, we're a fly-by-night operation, so we'll take it.
What about Brian Wallner, a junior that usually doesn't score a lot, and he really came through tonight?
Oh, yeah, he stepped up just like he did in Minot. He had a big game tonight for us.
So this is definitely worth it. We got to get the little guy in here, I suppose. Coach, your impressions, this team, the seniors and the juniors that fill in, this is something special for you, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, this group of kids, they just stayed together all year long, and they believed. And I think that that's what happens, you know, when you get a group of kids that believe that they can win. And they're just so competitive and so tough, and they just wouldn't be denied tonight.
When you talk about getting 91 Coach of the Year, runner-up your first year, and now finally getting it this year, it's something that you got to be very proud of.
Yeah, my thoughts are with the 91 team. You know, that'll never, ever leave me, that game. And but we're pleased with our efforts tonight, and the drought is over, and we can go for a new fresh start.
1959, now to 94.
Wow.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, back to you guys.
Thanks, John Hegry. Wow might say it all, Dan. A tremendous season by the Demons. Put together a great run here in the tournament. They are the 1994 state champs, 48-30 over the Mandan Braves. Right now, we'll head to center court for the presentation of awards tonight.
The High School Activity Association directors will hand out the individual awards. They are Superintendent of West Fargo Schools, Marv Lydell, Superintendent of Devils Lake, Ron Bommersbach, and the Superintendent of Mandan, Wallace Schmeling. First, for the Mandan Braves, cheerleaders, Daphne Whitman, Greta Spilla, Mandy Glosser, Cindy Langang, Mel Henninger, and Annette Bendish. Mandan players, Chad Kincaid, number 13, Tony Spildy, number 15, Joey Sobolik, Chad Kruckenberg, number 21, Brad Wagner, number 23, Keith Walters, number 25, Jamie Wagner, number 31, Don Kautzman, number 33, Todd Glarum, number 35, Greg Schmidt, number 41, Aaron Amundsen, number 43, Wayne Kipe, number 45, Preston Fleck, and number 51, Rod Reese. Assistant coaches, Greg Amundsen and Henry Schrader. Head coach, Jim McPherson. Now the individual awards for the Bismarck Demons. Cheerleaders, Melissa Karnick, Michelle Joshua, Jamie Fries, Heather Glass, and Krista Joshua. Bismarck players, number 10, Darren Johnson, Todd Potter, number 14, Steve Fry, number 20, Bob Munn, number 22, Dan Murray, number 24, Scott Oswald, Brian Rentschler, number 32, Shannon Peterson, number 34, Kevin Feeney, Guy Glanville, number 42, Mick Wiedrich, number 44, Brian Wallner, number 50, Joe Bearstail, number 52, Trent Mills, and number 54, Nate Nygaard. Assistant coaches, Rich Hovland, Mark Hausauer, Perry Hansen, Dave Fitterer, and the head coach, Steve Miller. At this time, I'd like to turn over the mic to the Executive Secretary of the North Dakota High Schools Activities Association, Mr. Bob King.
Next, I would like to introduce to you the all-tournament team as selected by the media people covering this tournament. And if these boys are here, would they please come forward and be recognized? Jesse Isaac from Jamestown, Ben Buckholz from Bismarck Century, Dan Upton from Minot, Raul Reese from Mandan, Chris Ford, Grand Forks Central, Chris Clement, Fargo North, Shannon Peterson, Bismarck High School, Dan Murray, Bismarck High School, Preston Fleck, Mandan, Steve Hockert, Jamestown, Kyle McKinnon, West Fargo, Brian Manson, Minot, Chris Osborne, Fargo North, and Brian Wallner, Bismarck. That is your 1994 Class A all-tournament team as selected by the media. Congratulations, gentlemen. Would representatives of the runner-up Mandan Braves please come forward and receive your team trophy? The 1994 state Class A basketball champions, the Bismarck Demons. Congratulations, and thank you for your attendance, and drive safely.
for you hockey fans. Minnesota State champions in the third period. Wilmington University 3, Moorhead 1.
Our Perkins player of the game.
That's right. While people like Peterson and Bearstail were struggling a bit, junior Brian Wallner did it on both ends of the court for Bismarck High. 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 steals. He's definitely deserving of our Perkins player of the game.
And those steals indicative of the kind of defense Brian played tonight. The Demons really needed that against Rod Reese and Preston Fleck. The big guys from Mandan did a tremendous job. There you get a look at the state champion Bismarck Demons for 1994. Once again, the final score was 48-30 here at the Fargo Dome.
You'll be okay, Ed.
Thank you. I'm choked up, Dad. For Dan Hammer, John Hagry, Brett Garland, and the rest of our crew, thanks for watching this weekend. It's been fun here at the Fargo Dome. Tune in next week, beginning Thursday, for the State Class B. That's at the Bismarck Civic Center. Good night.
Exclusive.